Okay, one of the things that I love about when we do a one service is that you guys all get to see each other, and it's kind of a fun thing. And it's intentional this morning. We're us doing the one service. We're going to do a couple of things. They're a little bit different. If you're visiting us with us, this is not our normal routine on a Sunday morning, but we're going to do our year review for this past year in 2024. We're going to talk about some ministry highlights, and then we're going to talk about this one big goal that we have for 2025. So we'll start with some numbers for you number folks. The first thing in 2024, we've got a slide. This is where our kind of what we did this past year. We had a budget of $2 million. Our giving was $1,785,000. That's kind of the breakout. Majority went to ministry. We had facilities and outreach, which were the other two parts. Now, our expenses actually exceeded our income this past year, and it's part of that is what we're going to talk about today, the need for us to be all in. We have an aging facility, and so we had to spend some money on fixing some of the things around here like boilers and all the not-so-fun stuff to fix in an old building, and we had some other expenses that kind of came up. But just so you know, because of the financial stewardships of folks that have gone before, we have a reserve, and so we were able to, that reserve to help us this past year cover the shortfall, and so we ended the year, even though we were behind, we still have a reserve of $375,000, which helps us with operating expenses, all those things if we get in a bind. But I can tell you, the elders, the staff are working hard to cut expenses. We have a lean and a mighty staff. We have, in fact, staff members that are in here. Can you guys please stand up? We don't often do this, but can you guys stand up? Come on. These guys do a fantastic job. There's a lot fewer of them than we used to have. We used to have a really big staff. We trimmed down to where we've got folks that are maximized, and most of them are doing multiple ministries that they're serving in. But we do have we're blessed with a great staff of folks. So you guys need to know that they're working hard. And one of the things we want to talk about as we talk about this next year is the opportunity for you to come alongside and help these guys do the ministry that God's called them to do. We've got, like I said, we're this next year, and because of y'all's generosity, because of you guys have been in, because people have stepped up to serve, we've never missed a beat on ministry. And so we always trust whatever God brings in. Here's the beautiful thing. God can take 5 loaves and 2 fish, and he can multiply those things and do more than we could have expected, right? And so every time God has been faithful to this church, no matter what's come in, he's taken that and he's used it to do the ministry that he wants to do through this group of people. So give yourselves a hand. And so this next year, our budget actually is going to look pretty much the same. You're going to go, isn't that the same one? Yeah, it is kind of the same one. And it's not because we don't want to do more. We're just going to wait to see what God does this next year. So we want to keep the budget flat. It's the breakdown's pretty much the same. Most of it goes to ministry expenses. We've got the outreach piece, and we have facilities. But as you guys use your gifts, your talents, just as Joe talked about, that facility piece of the pie might actually go down, because we got folks in here that can do all kinds of stuff that frankly I can't do. But God's gifted you. He's given you tools and resources and all this stuff, and we'll talk about that more in just a minute. But that's kind of for you numbers folks. That's where our numbers are. Now, let's get to the next piece. Because the numbers don't tell you a whole lot. They're just kind of static. They're up there. What I love about this time is for us to get to brag on what God has done in and through this body of believers. And he's done some incredible things. So we'll start with outreach, right? So our outreach, we have our global outreach. We're in 9 different countries. I want to make sure I get this right. We're in Guatemala. We have the Toledos and Lopez's, Colombia, Martinez's. Is that the way you say it, to Martin? I need to work on my Spanish. I will agree with that. Germany. So the Woodards, you guys have seen, they've been here before. They actually are working with some folks in Turkey, but they're housed in Germany, and so they're working on translation stuff for the Bible. West Africa, the Colognes, you guys have met them before. They've been here. In India, we have a ministry that we support. It's called Set Free Alliance. Nepal, Michelle Rickett works there. Japan, we have the Johnsons, and then we have Pastor Nobu and Living Chapel that we support there. In the Philippines, the Dumas, and in Indonesia, we have the Riggenbergs. Stateside, we have Gina Holmes, who works with the Navigators, the Wertheims, or Jews for Jesus, and William Jessup University. And so you're fun when you give money here to missions and all, you're having an impact actually all around the world. I kind of specifically started with countries that were closest to us, but they span all the way around to Japan. So it's almost like we're coming back to the States on the other side. And so it's really cool to get to see that. Locally, we partner with Grace Resources, we partner with CareNet, and we also do partner with Teen Challenge. We have Stop Ministry, one of our outreach ministries. Stop folks. I want to see those Stop folks. Joe, go ahead and stand up. Where's your team? All those folks that help out with Stop. Come on, don't be shy. Every Thursday, without fail. What day does Thanksgiving come on? Thursday. If Christmas comes on a Thursday, without fail. If it's a holiday, if it's really nasty outside, if it's beautiful outside, or the Super Bowl falls on a Thursday for some weird reason, those folks are there every Thursday. Now, what Stop does, it's a ministry that reaches out to kind of our homeless population. They provide a hot meal. Over this last year, they had close to 3,000 meals they did on Thursdays, right? Every Thursday, preparing a hot meal. And not only do they give them something to eat, but I can tell you, these folks, they serve with a smile. They sit down at the table. They have conversation with them. They love on these folks that are coming every single week. Now, we have some of our desert folks, the Richardsons. I know they're Lynn and Jude. They're up there. We have a group of folks, too, that every other Saturday, they make sack lunches and they deliver them to folks that live out in the desert. Folks that most people don't even, you wouldn't even know they're there. They're going to all these encampments and everything else, giving a sack lunch to the least of these. And not only do they give them a sack lunch, they sit down, they have a conversation, they pray for them. A lot of times they're giving Bibles to them. They're inviting them in. It's amazing every time they get an update from these folks, what all God is doing through them. And what was it? It's like nearly 5,000 sack lunches this past year that they gave out. So Stop Ministry. And I don't want to forget Tumbleweed Elementary has partnered with them. They gave almost 1,900 food items and clothes. They have a little can drive for Stop, and they raised a lot of stuff for them. AV School Prayer. This was kind of a Elisa doesn't like take credit for it, but this was an idea that Elisa and her family had that, you know what, that working in the school district, there's a huge need, right? All these kids coming together. You hear the stories about guns, shootings, and all the other stuff that happens on these high school campuses. And so they said, you know what, the biggest thing these guys need is prayer. And so last year we started this prayer thing, this AV prayer project. There's over 295 of you guys that have adopted a school. 106 schools are being covered, and they're just praying. They're praying for the students. They're praying for the teachers. They're praying for safety. They're praying for salvation. They're praying for believers to be a light in a dark place. Really cool for that. I love that. Mike Nauman, where are you? I know you're there. Care Portal, Okay, so this is a ministry. I know, Alan, I saw you back there too. This is a ministry where we partner with actually LA County with different agencies there to meet the needs of people in this community. And so we provide things like refrigerators. We've done security systems for a group home for ladies. We've done gift cards so that people have meals. We've partnered with Trend to do backpacks and things like that. And one of the things that they're doing right now is they are working with the LA Care Portal to meet the needs of the fire victims down below. And so if you're interested in being a part of Care Portal, just to see how you can help, how you can be a part, Mike Nauman will be out in the lobby afterwards. You can talk to him. But Mike, thank you to your team for all that you guys are doing. Speaking of Trend is a neighborhood that, if you're not familiar, it's not too far from here. If you know where the Vons is at L and 40th, it's kind of right across on the east. What is that? So if Vons is here, it's on this side of the street, right? And it's a neighborhood that we started, probably almost 15 years ago, partnering with the city just to provide some after-school care for kids in that neighborhood. And so 4 days a week, we're doing homework with them. We're loving on those kids. We're playing games. We're doing all this stuff. But we're doing stuff to love on those kids. And then twice a month, we have a market. We've partnered with AVC and some places to bring in food. And so for free, they get to come and they get all these vegetables and all this stuff, canned goods that they're able to get at Trend. And so that's a neighborhood, that's a ministry that we're loving on. And we're looking to bring some more programs, potentially some ESL classes, some other things to really love on that neighborhood. Right now, we're reaching about 40 households. We would love to, there's several hundred that live there. We would love to expand that and be able to impact that whole thing. But right now, we have Andrew who's leading the charge on that, and he's building a team, like I said. And so if you're interested in Trend, that's a good place to serve. Andrew, thank you. So those are the things that we're kind of doing out in the community. Those are the things out here. But then we have the ministry that goes on here, discipleship that's happening here. One of the things, I don't know if you guys can tell, I get kind of excited about baptism, right? We've had 45 this last year. And I don't think you guys realize what an anomaly we are. Because here's the thing. I grew up in Texas, in the Bible Belt, right? The buckle of the Bible Belt, right? All these churches, all these Baptists, all this stuff are right there. I didn't see 45 baptisms the whole time I was growing up in Texas. The whole time I was on staff in churches in Texas, I didn't see 45 baptisms the whole time. Doesn't mean people weren't coming to faith. I didn't see all those baptisms. We did 13 in one Sunday. You guys are crazy. But it's awesome to see, and that's one of the things, seeing God work and change lives, and folks saying, I want to make public. I want people to know I'm a follower of Jesus. I want people to know I'm taking this step seriously. Baptism doesn't save us, right? Baptism is just a picture of what Jesus has already done, but it's the first thing he commands us to do. Go make disciples, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Right? It's our first step of obedience, but it's the way we tell the world, hey, I'm a Jesus follower. We had 172 first-time guests, so some of you folks in here are fairly new. Thank y'all for being here. All right. Men's ministry, Dante, I know I saw you somewhere in here. There he is. So we have a men's Bible study that meets on Monday nights, about 45 men, and they range the spectrum. There's, I think we said 21? 22 to 92. You can't quite beat that range, right? 70 years in there. And they come from all different backgrounds, all different denominations, but they're here on a Monday night because they want to spend time in God's Word. They have a time of fellowship, a time of eating a meal and sharing that together. And God is doing wonderful things through that. Lots of guys are sharing their stories. We had Daniel Flores who got baptized through that ministry. Really good stuff happening there. Women's ministry. All right. I know I saw Elisa. All right, there we go. Yeah. And Cammie, they do a fantastic job. 100, I believe it was 125 women who participated in the morning and in the evening Bible studies. So you ladies know who you are, right? They went through this past year. I know they did. Jude was one of them. And 1 John, all right. That's what so they don't. I love when I talk to Lisa because she's like, I don't choose easy books. I like to kind of challenge, and so it's a ministry. Really, in all of these ministries are discipleship ministries. The whole goal is to challenge people and to help them grow in their faith and to do it together. I hope you hear that. The other thing is we've got through women's ministries this thing called Central Moms. So Central Moms out there? There's a few of you guys. So they have a Tuesday morning group and a Tuesday night group. And they really do. Cammie kind of takes the lead on that. But it's the desire is to equip these young moms, right? To surround them with other moms, that are in the same stage, and just encourage them to be the best moms that they can. Some of them it's difficult situations. Some of them are the standard, but it's all kind of discipleship that they do together. They have Golden Girls. I know I've seen some of those here. I tell you what's fun. Come on, Golden Girls, where are you? There's a couple. Don't be shy. So what our Golden Girls luncheon is, and if you fit in this category, a lot of times it may be widowed women or it may be just single older women, but it's a ministry for them that they come together twice. Is it twice a month or twice a year? Come on. Not twice a year. I mean, is it once a month? Every other month. That's what I was thinking. That's what I meant. Every other month. So they did 6 of them this last year, and it's so fun. I kind of sneak in on them after I get through doing my walkthrough here. And those ladies, they have such a good time. They'll do some kind of little game at the first. They share a meal together, and it's just a great time of bonding together. So if you fit that category, you're not a part of that yet, please come to the Golden Girls luncheons. Along those lines, we also have our central adults, senior adults. We used to call it the saints. I know, is there some folks in here that fit that category? Yeah. And so they meet now on Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock. Isn't that correct? 9:30. They meet at 9:30. So if you're kind of that retirement age, you want to be a part of that group. It's a great time to come together. They sing together. They will have a message, and it's another group that's a fellowship group that would be great for you to get plugged into to kind of grow in your. And here's the thing I love. That stage of life, you could easily go, I'm done with all this stuff. And yet this is a group of people that love being together, love still following Jesus together. Central Youth. All right. Andrew, I know you're up here. Soul, are you in this room? There she is, way back there. Hey, Soul, how are you? So this last year, I'll tell you, has been a fantastic year of ministry in Central Youth. We've seen that youth group. There's a steady group of about 30 to 40 kids that are there. Wait a minute. I think I saw Lindsay. Did I see her there? How are you? Good. About 30 to 40 teens, students that every week show up. And they just love on each other, and they love being together. That's what every time I come, there's just an excitement in the room. And so as elders, we kind of get a chance to peek in on the ministry for Thanksgiving. Like we serve meals, and so we were there, and we got to serve the kids. And this past year, we had over double the number of kids than we had the year before. We had over nearly 100 kids who showed up to eat turkey. Now, maybe it was the turkey, but it was still cool. And we saw all those kids. And here's the thing, too. I don't know if you've noticed, but when you come in and the folks that look a little bit younger than some of us, that are holding the signs a lot of times, you're going to see them serving in different ministries. You're going to see them singing on stage, helping in tech. You're going to see them greeting out there. That the youth in our church are getting involved in lots of different ways in serving and ministering together. And we also had 3 of them that chose to get baptized this past year. So 3 of the 45 were our students. Children's ministry. All right. Now, most of them are over there working right now, but we have 25 volunteers that service, that sounds weird, 100 kids every week that are volunteer on Sunday mornings. 25 folks that are faithful in serving those kids. You're able to come here as parents, you're able to drop your kids off and rest assured that they're learning the Bible. Here's one of the things that, so they spent the last 3.5 years going through the Old Testament, and now they're going through the New Testament. We haven't even been through the Old Testament yet, right? That's pretty amazing. They just had an ice cream party. I wish I could have been a part of that. Because they brought their Bibles and they memorized their verses more than 200 times. 200 times in the past few months. That's pretty incredible. And then we have 40. Yeah, that's a good woo. Y'all can do that. And then we have, on a Tuesday night, we call our kids small group. We have about 50 kids and volunteers that show up to hang out together, Bible study, time of worship, a time of just hanging out with other kids and learning about Jesus. And it's such a great time. In our nursery, I just want to notice Katie Varner, is she in here? She might be over there. She's probably over there serving. Last 10 years she's been volunteering with little ones. That's pretty incredible. So if you see her, thank her for doing that. Learning Planet. Okay, I know I saw some teachers here. Can you all stand up? Can you all, come on. I know standing up's kind of weird, but let's do it. Okay, these guys, 44 kids that they're in charge of. And I can tell you, every time I get a chance to go over there, those kids, they're awesome, right? They run up, they I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it's the candy I've got in my pocket. I don't tell you all that. But they always love to come to, and that's my favorite part of the day is when I get to hug those kids. But it's such a great environment over there. We've got a new curriculum that we're using, teachers who are super excited about it. And man, the vibe is so incredible. Right? And so if you have little ones and you're thinking about it, you're looking for it, it's 2, 3, and 4-year-olds, we would love to have them be a part of LP. You can sign up for that, and they're going to do a fantastic job with your kids. Okay, groups and classes. Tuesday night, adult Bible study. There he is, Mr. Anderson. All right. Exodus and Joshua. These guys don't take easy books, right? This past year, they went through both Exodus and Joshua. They've got a regular group, 30, 40 people that are showing up on a Tuesday night that they're just getting equipped and learning more about God's Word and growing closer together. Soul Hospital, Pat Wright. Are you in here? He's behind me. Oh, he's playing the drums. He's hiding. Oh, there he is. Oh, right there. Okay. I was like, I don't see him. Where is he in there? Fantastic job. Fantastic job. Heard really good things about Soul Hospital. Financial Peace. Concepcion, thank you. All right. Folks that have gone through have been helped financially. We kicked off our leadership pathway. So we have Bible Basics and we have our discipleship class. So where am I looking for Daryl Downs? He's over here somewhere. Daryl. There he is. Okay. And then Christopher. Where are you? He's in here, right? Help me out. Am I missing it? He does it on Tuesday nights? Okay. He's here. I know he's here. Chris Quizzer. Okay. All right. Perfect. Here's what I want you to get from that is we've got classes that are going on that the whole design is to get you excited and get you equipped. Bible Basics is one that's taking you through the basics of the faith, understanding what it is you believe and why you believe it. And then the discipleship one is to prepare you to disciple others. And so those two classes are happening. Basics is on Sunday morning. Discipleship is on Tuesday night. And then we have a number of small groups that meet throughout the week. So if you're a small group leader, can you please stand up? Come on. Alan, I'm counting you as that. Yeah, okay, good. These folks, week in, week out, meet with their groups. And it's not an easy job, right? Because we all bring stuff with us. And it's not just, let's sit down and let's have a cookie and a cup of coffee and let's just kind of talk about nice things. A lot of times, heavy stuff happens in those groups. And these folks, some of them have been doing it for years, loving on folks, pointing them to Jesus and serving in that way. Thank you guys so much for doing that for us. Re-engage. Okay, where's Dave? Milkies, y'all can stand up too. All right, so this is a ministry, Re-engage, if you're not familiar, you've heard us talk about it. It's our marriage ministry. And whether your marriage is, depends on how you count it. 1 is being good or 1 being bad, and 10 is good or bad, whichever way you want to do it. If you're on that spectrum, right, their Re-engage is for you. Right? You may go into it thinking, well, I'll just be a mentor couple. I'll help the other folks in that. And then you find out that first week you get smacked right in the face and going, oh, maybe I do need to be here, right? But I can tell you they had 12 couples that went through this past year. Those 12 couples, some of them were on the ropes and some of them were doing okay. But all of them were helped through that ministry this past year. 2 of those couples actually got baptized, right? They decided to make, that's good. They decided to kind of take a step and be serious about their faith together, which is awesome. And then we had Shannon. Is that right? Did I get that right, Shannon's? What's y'all's last name? No, you two. You're looking around. Holbrooks, yes. They signed up to be leaders this next year, which is awesome, right? They went through it. They were so helped. They said, let's do it, right? You saw them on the video. You can tell this isn't totally scripted, right? So, Regen. I see some of Regen folks. So, Regen, let me just tell you this. It is not a ministry that's for the faint of heart. It is a discipleship ministry, but it gets down and dirty, right? It's generally folks that go to Regen think they're going to get help with whatever their hurt, habit, or hang-up is, right? Whatever their addiction or whatever they think, oh, well, I'm going to get help with this. What they're actually going to do is going to get discipled. Well, I almost stepped off the stage. They're going to get discipled. And it's a ministry for everybody. Anybody have any habits in here that you want to break? There you guys are, the Christophers. Okay. Anybody, I don't know. Well, we won't go into all your business. All of us could benefit from Regen ministry. They've had a number of folks who have gone through the 12 steps, which is incredible, right? Just to make it through that. And they've got a number of step studies that are going on right now. It's a great ministry. So meets on Tuesday nights, 6:30. So this is a great place to be here. Tuesday nights, KSG, Adult Bible Study, Regen. This is a good place. Thursday nights is when we have Stop. We also have Regen, but we also have this group that you may not be aware of. It's our Veterans and First Responders prayer group. And Manny, I'm going to get his last, Altamirano. Did I say that right? Yeah. He's the one who leads it. And so if you are a veteran or a first responder, you guys have needs, you guys have experiences, you have a lot of stuff that most of us don't understand. right? Because we're not in your situation. And so if you want to come and you want to be around other guys and gals who have been through it or right now are in it, then this is a great time to come and just pray together, just to be together, bear each other's burdens, to point each other to Jesus, and just to be a support to one another. That's on Thursday nights as well. And let me just tell you, it's been, for me, I could go through all the worship folks because you guys do a phenomenal job. Thank y'all. The tech folks, there's a lot of those folks that serve every week that you don't even know, right? And the folks behind the cameras, we got a lot of folks every day, every week that are serving in all different kinds of ways in this church. And so as I got a chance to kind of reflect back, I really was encouraged. All the stuff that you go through in a year, sometimes you can kind of get a little bit kind of, burdened down. But once you start looking back, you go, okay, God, what happened this past year? And you begin to see his fingerprints all over this place and what he's done in and through you guys. It is super incredible and encouraging for me. So, but let me say this, he's certainly not finished yet, right? 2025. So what's the big goal for this year? And it's simply this. You ready? Be the body. Let me say that one more time. Be the body. We're going to spend some time in the book of Ephesians, and you're going to find out that being the body of Christ is super important. It's a very big deal that we get to be a part of the body, right? That everything we do, right? That I've said this before, that we're called to do together. Right? So when we walk down Torah Road, we're supposed to do it together. When we run after Jesus, guess what we're supposed to do? We're to do it together. Further up and further in. Together, right? Discipleship is not, you've heard me say this before, it is not me, my Bible, and a cup of coffee. Right? So often we think that the person who knows the most in the room is the one that's closest to Jesus. Sometimes that's the furthest from the truth. It's not about how much you know, it's about being a part of the body. It's about us doing this thing together. And so this next year, we're going to work hard at that, right? We're going to see that being together means it's a tribe thing, it's a group adventure. It's a team sport. And that's what we're going to do this year together. So we've done this before, but I want you to do it again. And this time, the nice thing is you're all in one room. Look around. Look around. If you need to, you can stand up, walk around. Go ahead. Feel free. Stand up. Stand up. There you go. Walk around. Look at those people all around you. Some of y'all a little hesitant. Come on. Up, 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 up. Yeah, walk around. Take a look at these folks. Okay, you can eyeball the ones that are sitting down if you want. I'm kidding. Okay, here we go. This is your family. This right here is your tribe. This right here is your team. The thing that unites us is this person called Jesus. Right? We come from all different places, all different backgrounds, but we are one body in Christ. And we're going to find out how important that is. We get to the book of Ephesians, right? We are the body, every single one of us. Every single one of us. Can I say that one more time? Every single one of us is important. There's not a one of you in this room right now. There's not a one of you I'd go, we don't need them. You might say that about me, but here's the thing. We need you. You need us. We need each other because that's what we are. We are the body, and we all need to be all in. Joe said this earlier. God has gifted you with some skills. You might be able to play the piano. One time I could, not that good. That's not my skill set. You might be able to build things, right? God may have given you the knack for building. He may have given you the knack for creativity or maybe organizing, or maybe it's encouraging, or maybe it's, you know what? Smiling. Some folks are really good at smiling and being a warm and welcoming presence. All of us have certain things. God has made you uniquely. There's no one like you ever in any place. No one has ever been like you. Your balance of gifts and of skills, your personality that you bring, the experiences that God has brought you through, the resources He's given you. And what Paul's going to say this when we start getting into it. He says, when the body begins to function like the body's supposed to, each part of the body fits with every other part. And the body only functions as it's supposed to, as each part of the body is doing all they can to support the body, to build the body up. He's going to use some weird language like you're a tendon, or you're that little synapse that connects two things. But that's what we all are. When we fit together and when we do that, if you want to see us reach our potential as a church, that's only going to happen if we all are in this together, if we all bring everything to bear at this. You see, we all have skin in the game. Each of us has a part to play, and every one of us has to play our part if we're going to reach our full potential, right? If we're going to have our greatest impact around the block and around the world. So let me just say this. Let me challenge you. You guys ready? Let's put the days of consumer Christianity behind us. Of just coming to church and seeing this as a place that for an hour and a half, I'm going to come and I'm going to sit in the pew and I'm going to listen to a sermon, sing a few songs, and maybe I like it this Sunday, maybe I don't. Let's put the days of that behind us. And let's begin to see this as our church. And when I say our church, that we all have skin in the game. Then when we look around at these buildings, when we look around at all that's going on, when someone walks through those doors, we see it as our responsibility because we are the church. It's not the pastor's responsibility to say hi to everybody who goes through those doors. It's mine because I'm a part of the church. It's not Walter's job to pick up the trash around the campus because we're paying him to do that. No, this is our campus. We love it. And we want everyone who comes steps onto this campus to have a sense of God's presence. We want to have a sense of the Spirit's work. We want this fragrance, this aroma of Christ. We want them to feel welcome, not like they're coming to, I don't know, someplace we don't have time to keep up. But it's going to take us all working together, all using our gifts, all doing that. And so if God has given you the ability to paint, raise your hand. Let me help you paint. If God's gifted you as a plumber and you got the tools, man, we've got some toilets over in the children's building that could use your help. If you know how to wire stuff, this building's 20-something years old. We could use some folks who know how to do electrical work here. Too many times we said ministry means you got to lead a small group, you got to teach a Sunday school class, you got to do the things that are very obvious. There are so many gifts that you guys have, so many things that the Lord wants to use to do ministry here on our campus and in this valley that we're untapped. We haven't touched it. And so we haven't reached anywhere near our full potential. And if every one of us said, you know what, I can do this. You know what? When you say you can do that, we can use it. We can use it. Maybe he's giving you a financial mind. We can use some help with finances, right? Yeah, kind of. Maybe. I don't know. Administration. Like I said, smiling. I mean, there's all kinds of things. If you can do it, if you've got a skill set, we've got a sheet of paper, or you can go on our app, just sign up on there. You can sign up for a ministry. I want to be in women's ministry. I want to be in children's ministry. Or you can sign up, here's my gift set. I don't even know where I need to go, but you guys know. Let me know. This is the season for us to be all in. This is the season for us to see this as God calling us together at the church, that we're to serve and give and welcome and love and do all the things that Jesus tells us to do. And it's not just a few people who get paid to do it. It's all of us. Because believe it or not, you've all been called into ministry. Did you know that? Every single one of you is a full-time minister. What? Yeah. You see, when Jesus called you, when he saved you, he didn't save you just to sit in the pews. And he didn't save you to go to heaven. He saved you to do the work. Right? Each and every one of us, he saved us to do the work. The work of sharing the gospel, right, with the lost and dying world. The work of building each other up and equipping the saints. The work of loving people well and serving this community. He saved us for that. He's given us one life to live, and he calls us to live that life for him, not for us. I'm not the main character. You're not the main character. He's the main character. And when we understand that, and we say, Lord, this is all yours anyway. This is all yours anyway. My job is simply to say yes to whatever you call me to do. I don't know what it is yet, but here's my yes. And so let me challenge you. This is the season where we want to, instead of, like I said, we want to have a season of empowering, not entitling. Of partnering, not telling, a season of equipping and not just doing. We want to have a season where we're all in this together, running after this thing called following Jesus together. And you know what? Here's the prayer that I pray. You know my main prayer, right? Did I tell you all that? Lord, help me. I need a lot of help. I pray that one all the time. Here's the other prayer. Every morning, I pray for you guys. Every morning, without fail, I pray for you guys. You know what I pray? I pray that the Lord, both individually and corporately, that he ignites this passion in our heart to spend time in his word every day, to spend time in prayer every day, that we would have this desire to spend time with each other, building each other up, praying for, equipping, walking alongside, challenging, bearing burdens, laughing and crying together, doing this life together thing, of sharing our story every day or every opportunity he gives us, and being a generous people, so that we get to see this thing of reaching the lost, expanding his kingdom, making Jesus more famous, both in this valley and around the world. You see, I'm just crazy enough to think that this could be a place. And I think it is. Where the truth is always proclaimed. The word is faithfully taught. Where the saints are equipped. Where the lost are reached. where Jesus is made much of every single week. And that we are the aroma of Christ to each other and to this valley and around the world. And as we do those things, my prayer is that the Lord would add to our number daily those who are being saved. And so I want to do this. Let's spend some time. And I want you just to ask this question. I want you to think about it for just a second. And I want you just to ask the Lord. It's that crazy, scary, dangerous prayer I'm going to ask you to pray. Lord, what do you want from me? What's my part? How can you use me? So spend a few moments praying that prayer. Then the band is going to lead us in one more song. And after that, we're going to do communion. We're going to do it a little bit differently. When we get to that point, I'll give you some instructions, but you'll see there's tables around the room. And so when we get to that point, we're gonna actually get up, go pick up our communion, come back to the chairs, but we'll do that in just a second. So you guys spend some time in prayer real quick. All of it. We would bring the full weight of those things to bear. To serve this body, and through this body to serve this valley, and through the valley we would serve this world. That our light would shine brightly for you, that others might see our good works and glorify you. That the aroma of Christ would be thick and fragrant, Lord, that every person who steps foot on this campus would have a sense of your Spirit's presence, drawing them in and pointing them to you. That you would unite the heart of this body of believers, Father. We'd reach the potential that you've given us. A singleness of mind and purpose. And reaching the lost, Father, and expanding your kingdom of making you more famous here. May it begin with me, Father. May it begin with our elders, Father, our staff, and may it begin with this group of people. And I pray a year from now when we get together again to talk about this past year, Father, that we would have so many stories, Lord. So many stories. We love you and pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.